In episode 4, you find out that it's just a false alarm. Big John didn't leave. I mean, he did. He went to go find the Twinkie to try to find the diary, but what he found was just a bunch of mush. The window was open, rain got in. That copy of the diary is long gone. When he returns home, he's thrilled, though, because there's his daughter-in-law waiting for him. The trio of Big John, John B., and Sarah give each other a giant hug. After getting caught up for a little bit, Sarah heads out. She wants to get back to her place, find some clothes, maybe a phone. But they agree to meet back up at John B.'s place at 6. Once Sarah leaves, Big John pulls up in the Twinkie. John B.'s more concerned with the fact that why he didn't make this known when Sarah was around. But Big John isn't about to let any secrets out. He wants to keep everything close to the vest, and that means just him and his son. He fills his son in on what happened to the copy of the diary that they had, but luckily he does have a plan B, and he tells John B. hop in the car. As they head on over to Big John's backup plan, John B. tells his dad, look, we're not keeping anything from Sarah. She's one of us. And Big John reminds his son that they lost the gold to her dad, they lost the cross to her brother. He doesn't think it's a coincidence, but John B. does think it's a coincidence. After all, he did live it. What it boils down to is Big John is just reluctant to trust anybody. John B. kind of understands, but then he asks, all right, where are we going? And they're going to Mr. Sun's house, John B.'s old history teacher. He's the one who has the original diary anyway, so he figures that's the best place to look. Although word on the street is Sun has vanished. They doubt that it's there, but they want to check around. They go inside, and sure enough, no one is there, or at least that's what they think. As John B. is looking at a copy of Cape Fear, he is attacked, and so is Big John. It's the same smugglers that John B. and the Pokes were dealing with before. They've been hired by Singh to go to Sun's place and find the diary, and they found it. They tied up Sun in the bathroom. John B. frees Sun, but then he's called by his dad because the smugglers are getting away. They chase after the smugglers, but it's only a matter of time before the smugglers get to the bay, and then they're gone forever. So John B. improvises and hops on a jet ski and chases after him. The jet ski is faster than their boat. The smugglers know that, so they're forced to turn around. Big John would like this to go down without confrontation. He finds out who they are from his son, so he offers them more money than Singh's offering. Basically telling them that Singh is giving them a raw deal because what they have in their possession could lead to more money than they know what to do with. But in order to get that money, they need what Big John has. So he wants to strike a deal with them. The smugglers agree, but in reality what they're planning on doing is shooting John B. and taking Big John back to Singh. They know they'll get more money that way. Both Johns ride up to the boat, but as they're about to get on, Big John notices that the one guy is about to shoot his son. So Big John shoots first. He kills the one and then kills the other one execution style. And this really has John B. shaken up. He watches his dad dispose of the bodies, scuttle the ship, and act like he's just mowing the lawn as he does it, like it's business as usual. Now at least the Johns have the diary. And as they're driving back, Big John is reading it and trying to decipher it, figure out meaning to it. But John B. is staying quiet until finally he can't take it anymore. He stops the vehicle, gets out, and says, I'm done. Big John starts pleading his case. John B. doesn't really want to hear it. He didn't know that that side existed in his dad. But Big John makes a really convincing case to John B. on why he should stick around for this plan, and John B. follows his dad. After reading the diary, Big John has an idea of where the second piece could be. He thinks it's in the gravesite of a guy in Charleston. So that's where the two are headed next. The rest of the Pokes didn't have quite as interesting of a day. After Key had headed home and said hello to her parents, who were worried sick about her, she heads over to fill JJ in on the fact that Big John is back. She, though, can sense that there's something wrong with JJ and asks, all right, what's up? Was it something Pope said? I mean, we're both past whatever happened with us, but something's clearly bugging you. And he admits that, yeah, it is what happened with Pope. It's the fact that they almost had something on that boat, and he doesn't want to ruin it. Key, though, seems more than willing to get in some kind of a relationship with JJ because the heart wants what the heart wants. But JJ flips out. He basically insults Key, calling her a kook and saying that he's just going to mess this up anyway and he's not good enough for her. She's too good for him. It's as if he's literally insulted by the fact that this girl wants to hook up with him. He especially gets really mad when she has the audacity to say that she cares about him and will help him out if he needs help. JJ flees. Not wanting to continue this talk with Key, and a couple hours later he shows up at John B's place, but he doesn't find John B, he finds Key. She had a sense that he would show up there after she told him that Big John was back. She wants to make up with JJ, but she also has news. Rafe is back. They had no idea about this. Sarah headed to her place to get some items, and when she was in her house, she overheard Rafe on the phone arguing with Ward. While Rafe was headed back to the Outer Banks, Ward decided that he was going to donate the cross to a museum. He's realizing what a terrible person he is, and he wants to atone for some of his actions. He feels like donating the cross is a step towards penance. Rafe, though, does not take this well at all. He feels like that cross is his. He's the one who saved it. It's his deal, and now his dad is swooping in and poaching it from him. Sarah does a really good job of eavesdropping on the conversation, and what she hears is that the cross is coming back to the Outer Banks. It'll be in Wilmington the next night. So getting the cross is still a possibility for them. Key fills JJ on all of this news, and as for John B., he left a note saying that he was going with his dad, so they're going to have to wait for him to get back to tell him about the cross. The way that JJ looks at this, it's great news. The cross is still in play. He tries to formulate a plan, but before he does, Key has to talk to him. She tells him that what happened on the boat caught her off guard too, but what really upset her was the fact that he said that she doesn't care about him. The two talk it out, they make up, and while they're not a thing yet, the friendship at least is back on track. As for the other budding relationship, Pope and Cleo head to Pope's place. It takes some convincing, but Pope convinces his parents to let Cleo stay after explaining, "She saved my life." Pope then fills his parents in on all the drama that happened, and out of everybody, he's especially going to be pumped to hear about the cross because he's happy that it didn't sink to the bottom of the ocean. As he tells his parents, "I want people to know the story of Denmark Taney. He got probably one of the most valuable objects in the world, and he gave it to a church full of freed slaves. If that cross is at the bottom of the ocean, that story never gets told." While it is a beautiful story, the bad news is Pope is on lockdown. When you go away for a year and you don't tell your parents where you're going and you show up with some woman from the Caribbean, your parents tend to get annoyed. They'll let her stay, but they're grounding you in the meantime. But the Pogues are not the only ones who are going to be after the cross. Rafe, even though he was given strict orders by Ward to head to Wilmington to pick it up, is not about to just let this thing be donated. He pays a visit to Barry. He explains the situation to Barry and says, "I want you to steal it. This thing is worth way too much money for it to be donated. And before you even start thinking about stealing it from me and not giving it back, realize that I'm offering you a job, and it's high risk and it's high reward, but it pays a lot. And when this thing gets stolen, there's going to be a lot of suspicion on me. But I'll have an ironclad alibi, so they're going to be looking for whoever I hired, which is you. But that's the thing. No one's going to suspect you because you ratted me out. So take this job, don't mess it up, and you're going to get a whole lot of money for it." Barry does agree to help, but he agrees to help for half. And then he tells Rafe to kick rocks because he doesn't want to be seen with them. That's going to be suspicious. So the next night, it seems like a whole lot of people are going to be heading to Wilmington with one goal: getting the cross. Thank you so much for checking out this recap. Please consider subscribing to the channel and subscribing to my Patreon. Hit thumbs up if you liked it. Smash that thumbs down button if you thought it sucked. If you left a comment, I don't get back to you. I usually don't check the comments unless they're like a super comment. Also, if you don't see the next video up on the end screen, not to worry, it'll be up in a day or two.